points on the board, as we obviously didn't see them last month. This is the only team in the whole of this multi-final, both sub-regions, that we haven't seen in the previous month. 37% actually voted for Level Esports against Marruecos, and in my eyes, this is probably the most convincing one-sided match of the entire day, and it's the closest prediction by the audience.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I feel like Marruecos have been, like last month, a lot of people talking to people from the region were telling us, yeah, they are the best team. And in their first semifinal, I think they struggled quite a bit, and it took them a reverse sweep to come back, if my memory serves me right. So there were some moments of doubt here and there, but nevertheless, this should be a pretty convincing matchup. We'll see if Level Esports can prove their fans right, and perhaps hit us with a bit of an upset here, as our bans for Shooting Star are going to be Max, Bonnie, and Jean on the side of Level Esports. Marruecos taking out Eve, Tick, and Mandy. This means that we'll have the first pick of Nani for the side of Level Esports and the first pick of Grom for Marruecos.
Well, I'm quite glad to see Mandy banned out. I saw enough of that earlier on, as it really didn't do a lot in when we saw it being brought in on that knockout set, Gold on Gulch. I like the Nani first pick, but Grom kind of takes it for me. I really do think it's incredibly strong. You need that thrower, and you know the return would be a Tick, would be a Sprout, something like that. Tick obviously being banned. Sprout might be the answer that Level Esports need, but so far, Marruecos, with this Grom, they do have the upper hand. But on these long-range side lanes, it's going to be difficult against a Nani, because it usually is the best.
Yeah, I don't know if I love Grom the most here. Personally, I do prefer Sparta a little bit, but you do have to respect the Grom. It's been a trap lately, and the Unbreakable Walls have even made it stronger than ever before, really. Let's see what their follow pick is going to be, as they do have two in a row here, since it was the first pick for Level Esports, and it's going to be a B to join the ranks of this Marruecos comp. I don't mind it either. I think it can do quite alright here, especially if there could be any tankier ideas brought into the mix. I do personally prefer something along the lines of Piper in general, but facing a Nani, I feel like whether you're B or Piper, it can be a little bit of a tough matchup anyways.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anybody who's going to be leaning against this Nani is going to be having a really difficult time. I don't know if the Gus is kind of my pick there. I probably wouldn't have gone towards that kind of thing. Carl, it's going to get that first star, and it's going to be pretty decent at going aggressive towards that Grom, so I think it's a decent pick from Portox. With Marruecos having this last pick, though, they can pick something that can do quite well against Carl. However, it's quite hard to bring something... I was going to say, it's quite hard to bring something tanky onto a map like this, like a Buzz or something like that, but they actually take a Fang, and probably going to be on that roundhouse kick kind of route, try to get some shots off onto this Carl and dominate that way, but I think it's going to have a difficult time up until it gets that super.
Yeah, I agree. Although, I mean, there's no proper tank counter on the side of Level Esports. Yes, Nani does dish out a ton of damage up close if you manage to, you know, get a close enough range to auto-aim. But it's not quite as consistent because it still doesn't have a whole lot of HP to work with either. So if the super from Loco does find a connection, that could be enough to pick up that elimination. We'll see how that encounter is actually going to be playing out. As Jeremy, as you mentioned, free blue star for him rocking that Carl, and that's pretty much going to be how the early game starts every single time for this opening set. It's going to be Marruecos on the offense looking for a pickup.
Yeah, it might be that blue star, but instantly some great control, even with this Fang on lane from Marruecos, as Grom's just providing such good aerial support down here, throwing up these shots and raining them down across these walls, rotating over to the right side to try and do some good damage against Todd, whereas Reese is going to be trying to pinch into this mid. Does get hit by one way of that Carl pickaxe there, and Loco picks up a super. If he can get the support from Alonso, then it's a great opportunity to get some kills.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. Super coming in from both the Grom and the Fang. The Fang one is a little bit overkill and actually will probably cost him his life here, as Jeremy is just not quite able to pick up the elimination, and eventually he will. This does mean that at the end of this quite messy encounter, it's 2 stars in favor of Level Esports. A couple of problems of team synergy early on here from Marruecos, just getting a little bit of a misunderstanding on what their plan was. But either way, a 2-star difference doesn't change very much compared to the 1-star that it was earlier. It was a blue star on their side as well. 1 kill will turn it around, and that's going to be the kill they need. However, the dash from Loco doesn't quite end there, and he's going to end up going down. Alonso is weak by his own, and Jeremy uses that opportunity to flying hook straight onto him and take him down.
Yeah, it's 5-star lead now, but it's all pretty much going to come down to this last interaction between Marruecos and Level Esports here. Loco needs a super, he's got this in hand as well. Grombomb comes down and the takedown's there, but they still need another. He's pinned in this corner though, got a little pirouette going out, but he's getting hit regardless. 2 HP left. We're going to place that down in front of him, but even Todd can't fall. Portos can't fall, and both of them get hit by that Grombomb, but Reese goes down, they need another one quick. Can Loco get the super and push through? He gets it, he gets the bounces and the takedowns there.
Way to kick off the series here. It was not comfortable for Marruecos, but it did pay off at the end of the day. Beautifully done there, and they'll take the first game. Level Esports need to make sure that they don't give them the first set.
Yeah, I mean, although Loco's kind of dressed like he's on holiday, he's definitely not as relaxed as I'm sure he'd like to be after that one. We're getting some good kicks now with these shoes flying off. Jeremy, not really that low, but did feed Loco a few times. Ree's very low now though. Super comes in, roundhouse kick, finish off, but can they get the trade out? He does have another super, so even if he goes down, they still got this chance of kind of wrapping it back and coming back again to take him down. But Jeremy going aggressive. Can Reese get the trade? Can't just yet, and Peep coming out as well.
Yeah, the Fang ideally is going to be the one tanking that, or a gadget from Riz, but it seems like it's going to be all right so far. And he was able to tank it nicely with the shield from his star power. Taunt extends a little bit, gets punished by Alonso, but not nearly enough for a kill just yet. Loco does have a super. We saw earlier what he's capable of doing with it, but some of them were pretty hit or miss. This dungeon very nicely going in for an assassination onto Jeremy. It does pay off. Can he get out of there? He has super if he wants to dash away. He might just need to, as Grombomb is going to keep Jeremy at bay for now, and Loco is back at it. Finds another 2-piece, and he's able to get out of there intact as well.
I mean, 5 stars on him now. Peep goes straight into an indestructible wall. Not going to be doing a lot to that, but Reese and Loco, the ones with all the stars, and if both of them fall, then it can quite quickly be turned around. Loco can't go aggressive now, so needs to be cautious. Needs to pick his moment if he does need to try and deflate some pressure, but Reese very low over the right-hand side, and it might be worth one of them just sacrificing themselves for the greater good. They're going to be respawned anyway. Todd's going to go down, and that extends it even further. Alonso's the one who actually got that kill, which is probably better considering it spaces out those stars. But Waco's going to take the first set. And that second one, definitely quite convincing. First one.
Right, Morocco was clearly the better team in this opening set, but I did see some stuff here that could lead me to believe that they could pick up a game or two here and there, or maybe a set, and then try to build up from there. Nevertheless, Morocco's were definitely the better looking team, and moving into double swoosh, they'll be looking to hold on to that, as this is one of my favorite gem grab maps, and I think the draft process for it can always be very interesting. A Pan first pick already locked in by Marruecos. Confident with that one as they banned out the B as well as the Janet and RT. We have a very quick draft actually coming through as Level Esports, they immediately react with a poker and a notice.
Yeah, they seem to like the poker a lot more than other regions over here, as we saw it played out in Crystal Arcade in the previous game, and now double swoosh on this one. I do quite prefer that Pam to start things off, though, I will say. Penny going to be added to that as well, and I think that's just even more Marruecos sided drafting. Jeremy, though, I do like his pick of Otis. I think that's probably the best one so far from Level Esports. Not really the biggest fan of the Poco, as you quite often get picked off by a Penny turret or some shots from the Penny and stuff like that. It's really difficult to get value. Unless they kind of go with a tank last pick, and I think Marruecos need to kind of consider this at this point, and yeah, they do. They go for the spike.
I like the spike. I think it can do fairly well. Not usually my favorite last pick, but I think the extra damage is going to be welcome, especially when you have to take into consideration, as you said, those heals from the Poco that can be quite a pesky thing to try to deal with. I like the comp from Marruecos. And Squeak is the last pick. I think it's a decent one as well from Level Esports. I'll lock down certain areas of the map, either around the mid for your gadgets or on your own lane, really depending on your taste and your preference. But I feel like both drafts here are quite alright. We did see Poco dominate quite a bit in semi-final number 1. I was scared they might just run away with it as well. I believe it was in the final set of the semi-final. But I don't know if it's going to work as well here on Double Swoosh.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, you can throw those residues down for the squeak and obviously have quite a lot of vision on the map and the grass, but there's just certain choke points that just can't be covered by that residue. And now some shots going down this right side. They obviously kind of took the spike because they expected a tank as the last pick, and now the squeak might be able to take advantage of that.
The spike super is just gonna keep on a bit more at bay. RC is gonna be able to dispatch off him, and Marruecos with the man advantage, make it 2-player advantage now, and a healing station plays down as well. I mean, a pretty decent situation. Gone back to 1 HP. Pordog's also trying desperately to heal back up as Jeremy is not able to reset either. This is a very dominant position for Marruecos, and despite Level Esports having a decent early game, it seems like as soon as they got the setup, which, I mean, the Pam healing station and the Penny mortar, they are able to just get such a firm hold into the mid. Pordog is going to try to make a play happen. It's going to be very challenging to capitalize here, and he ends up going down nevertheless.
Yeah, we see a little muted Loco there, and the first signs of a break. It's just so hard to break that position with the Poco. Not really a lot of DPS, but it was Jeremy who eventually did manage to get the job done. Now just one more gem needed. Should be spawning on Marruecos' side next, I believe, but Portox is over there with some good control and does manage to grab it, so that gives him a little bit more space and a bit more free time.
There's so much time for Marruecos to just wait for Gem to spawn nicely on their side and to just play the safe way. One does now, but Lonzo does not really have a whole lot of support to work with, and that means that Portox is free to address the mid, pick up a couple of the next gems that spawn, and slowly but surely catch up. Lonzo very low HP as well. The next one that spawns on their side, Portox is able to steal 2, and Dalton gets a nice elimination onto Alonso. The mortar is going to be taken out of the way, and it's only a 2-gem deficit. Yeah,
but Portox is just so low. Might not be able to contest this gem here, and obviously with it being a Poco, he wouldn't be able to anyway. 10th gem does spawn, and it's on Marruecos' side. They get it started. They've got 3 at the back. No, I didn't even see those.
Yeah.
Even things out straight away, and Penny turret place once more. This is a great position for Marruecos now, as it seems like they've got a 50-50 good position for Level Esports because they got 50-50, but a little bit of a good aggressive stance here. Loco trying to push aggressively, just place this turret a little bit higher up and not fully behind that wall. Mute going to be awful and it's going to be missed. Alonso getting hit hard though. Brought down, but good job Reese took down that side. Loco's going to grab these gems and retreat, but he can't get enough of them. Reese all alone trying to save this game. Jeremy's very low as well though, getting some connecting shots, and he needs all these gems. It's got to be Alonso to grab them. He does grab them and get the reset, but Porto's so low as well. It's just a massive amount of carnage.
Well, it ends with 14 gems now for Marruecos. Just a couple more that will spawn. One here on the side of Level Esports. They still need one more for the reset. Alonso is going for it. He wants to deny that. And Portox is gonna fool. Marruecos will be taking yet another game.
Left, right, and center. Penny went down. Poco went down. Everybody's kind of just falling, and it's just a really hard one to predict what's going to happen next because there really wasn't much structure to it whatsoever.
It was incredibly chaotic, and to be fair, that is kind of what we saw a lot last month as well in the west side of South America. Let's see if Marruecos are able to thrive in that chaos again, or if Level Esports can try to bring it back a little bit. And so far, they have a good start, a nice and healthy 3-gem lead early on. A mortar last place down. Loco going aggressive and able to find a kill that way as well. Things not looking too bad here so far for Marruecos as they've been able to catch up very nicely.
Oh, just gets the screeching solo off, but a wasted scrap sucker there from Loco. Definitely a bit more of a 50-50 game this time. 4-4, control pretty much going both ways, but a gem picked up off the Level Esports side by Alonso is really going to help them a lot. As small as one gem is, it gives them a 2-gem lead because the next one spawns on their side. Loco going to go aggressive to connect all of those shots, panter it up as well, establish that, and he's going to survive this. Loco, Jeremy's not going to be able to do too much to him because he's got this turret in the way. They're retreating, and this might be the second set.
This is looking good for Marruecos. Level Esports, they need to take down either Loco or Alonso to interrupt. Portox is getting in range. This could get dangerous. Lots of damage. Loco is one shot. He ends up going down, but so does Portox. And that means that even though the countdown is interrupted, there's no opportunity to snatch any of those gems. And Alonso is going back in a bit, trying to create a little bit of space with Loco. So if he needs to fall back, he has the space to do so. Again, the mute is going to be missed by Jeremy. The salty barrel is even overkill as Alonso is
definitely a lot closer than that first set was. As I said, though, knockout is going to be up next, out in the open as well. So we're playing a bit more of that long-range game rather than some of this closer range, scrappy stuff that we have just been seeing in gem grabbing. Obviously, going to need to be a lot more patient and a lot more slow played.
Yeah, definitely so. It's a good game mode and at times to reset because it slows down the pacing very nicely, lets you focus up for a little bit, and if you just win that first round, momentum is starting to already swing your way. Gene is going to be the first pick for Level Esports following their Bonnie, Max, and Mandy ban, as Marruecos banned out Eve, Tick, and Brock. Pretty standard bans across the board. Mandy is an interesting one, but to be fair, we saw how much it was played out in the eastern side of the region, so it does make sense that they value it highly here too. As Bell is going to be the follow-up and reactionary pick here for Marruecos.
I do like the Bell pick. I think it's pretty solid here, and I did doubt it a little bit on a few of the other maps that we've seen, but I think on a map like this, when you've got range and some of those brawlers like Mandy banned out, Brock banned out, something like that, and Bonnie as well, it kind of makes it so you do have to have the range brawlers that you can get, but obviously Piper's still on the map, Nanny's still available as well. We're going to see that Janet being picked up by Marruecos here, and I like it. We see it used quite a lot. Drop the base is always good for resetting those heals and stuff like that, so I think it's pretty solid for Marruecos. Next up from Level Esports then, we will be seeing this B pick coming in, and I like it. It's a good return. We have this kind of long-range affair going on now. Gene and B, I think it's a bit of a better combo, bit of a better long range than what Janet brings to the table, but obviously Janet can be a little bit more versatile, I will say, in comparison to that B pick. You can play that short range, you can play that mid range. Grom's going to be the last pick of Level Esports, and yes, it's good. Yes, it's going to have that throwing capability, but I think to get the most use out of a thrower on a map like out in the open, you need to kind of be up on that aggressive line, getting into the bush and making those kind of big plays, aggressive Grom bombs throwing down, and it's tough to get use out of it. But once you can get aggressive and get in that position in the grass, then it will be pretty explosive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like it can be a little bit scary, to be honest, when it gets to the later stages. If you are fighting, well, as the name of the map says, out in the open, it's not exactly where you want your Grom to be, but it can still find a decent bit of value. It's a lot of range for a thrower as well, so I feel like it does mitigate for it just a little bit. Marruecos was their final pick, coming in very, very shortly. And it is a Sprout from what I hear. Might not quite get the chance to see it, but you hear it. And I do not know how much I'm a fan of that, to be honest. I've seen Sprout work here before. I just feel like it's a bit of a risky one. And instead of matching the thrower energy, I would have preferred to see more of a counter.
Yeah, no, I think the same as well. Reese just trying to get this push. Grom coming down the right side, though. Great control from him, I will say. Jeremy pushing through, and Level Esports getting some early kills, and Waco's not looking the same as they were. Shots coming through, another connection as well. Just looking to try and get his super, and he's actually evading shots really, really well at this point. But Gene, that little spray at the end is not something you can evade, and maybe Loco might be a good idea for him to retreat and wait for this gas to come.
Yeah, well, he's going to feed the Gene instead, and that is probably not the best plan, because now Jeremy has a pool. Interesting decision. But let's see if they can bring it back in round 2. So now they do have a B slow, which won't connect. Nicely tanked by the drop to base. But also a Gene pool that you need to take care of. And that is going to be less easy as, oh, another beautiful drop to base. Rez just making sure that, he takes care of all of the utility from Level Esports at this point.
Yeah, really nice stuff from him, and I mean, the timing on it was absolutely perfect. I was scared that he didn't have his drop the base back to be able to deal with that, but had it just in time, and Todd doing such a great job here. Alonso down this right side needs to put more of a fight up. We kind of have Grom over the left-hand side dominating and doing some decent damage, but Ree's pushing quite heavily up onto him. Vengeful Spirit's going to make a connection onto one, but not the other. Follow-up shots, and Todd's going to fall low. No connections off those two, but he does bring back his wall. recycles it and might throw it a little bit further forward to try and get some control now.
Jeremy trying to break through the mid, but it's a Loco that finds a kill onto top. Portox already knows that it's going to be gas time for him and his teammates, and means that now the second round will be going the way of Marruecos, and if they win the next one, that would be a match point in their hands. Level Esports need to be very careful now. They do have a chance at taking this game. They need to grab it.
Yeah, shots following up now. Todd gonna get hit by one of those, and Jeremy has his pull. No more drop the bases for Reese, though, to be able to tank them out, as he's been doing so successfully so far. But Portox has this super, and that's a dangerous game for anybody caught up in it. Great positioning now from Level Esports as they start to push up, but Jeremy gets hit pretty hard. Flight available for Reese as well. Can't use it when he's not in a tough situation, though, as it'll pretty much make it a 3v2 whilst he's in the air for those 8 seconds.
Jeremy still sitting on that pool. Needs to capitalize. Still have some, well, actually very little utility to work with to try to deny the pool. That wall from the Sprout is gonna make sure that Jeremy can't just be sitting anywhere in those bushes. I'll have a little bit more information available. The pull does connect onto Loco, but Loco still is able to find a trade. Alonso is gonna fall, but it's an awkward 1v1, and Todd wins it. Damage.
As soon as he got that 3K, so really nice stuff from him. It was good timing on that side of things, and honestly I kind of thought that the Janet was going to be able to win that one down and take it back from Marruecos, but actually ended up with Todd playing it pretty well. Portox needs to try and keep his control, but instant aggression from Marruecos actually paying off this time.
Yeah, they got so much control locked in. Todd very low HP as well. Alonso trying to maybe even get that pick up, a nice bounce, and eventually gets overwhelmed, doesn't know where to go, and that's when Loco strikes, and strikes hard. The Level Esports took the previous game. Marruecos are looking for a different outcome for this one, as Alonso is low, but is, I was gonna say, able to find Jeremy, but not quite.
Yeah, Reese just trying to pinch around this side and can't really have Alonso back off too far. Obviously they do have the gene pull. Maybe need to throw a wall down when that zone starts to come in and when they're forced to try and make this aggressive push forwards. But Jeremy's actually just going to go straight into the zone now. Doesn't even want any part in this. A few shots connected and we're going to see a Loco super, so he's going to be pretty glad about that.
Level Esports, again, need to tread carefully. Don't want to give away any match points. It did show earlier that they were capable of turning things around at important times. Jeremy has his pull. Portox also has a ground bomb. The pull onto Alonso does connect. That's going to be the man advantage. Mark here from Loco is going to be a miss, and seems like whenever someone goes down, everything falls apart a little bit for Marruecos. They also need to be a bit careful themselves because there's potential set here on the line as well for Level Esports. Todd now has a supercharged shot as well, and Portox is still sitting on that ground bomb. She refuses to use for the time being, eventually pops it now, and that's the end of Riz.
Yeah, he's going to go down. We're going to see him retreat into this gas now, as he doesn't want to feed that gene pull and Grom Bomb, as they're just so effective at dealing the damage and getting the job done. Marruecos need to win this round now and even things out, or as Level Esports are going to be bringing the set back. We do have this super from Todd. Not going to be the most influential in the early game, as they seem to be playing this ranged affair over and over again, but as soon as that gas starts to push things forward and get the slow off, it'll be very useful.
Jeremy flashing the pool, and he's gonna miss it. Loco also missed his mark, but at the end of the day, the pool is probably more impactful here. So much on the line in just a single round here. Potential match point, potential set for Level Esports. Don still has that super as well if anyone gets up close, but it seems like he might want to keep that for the later stages of this round when the gas forces Marruecos out of their hiding.
Yeah, Reese very, very low now, avoiding these rum shots, but getting hit by those gene things, and reverse polarity going to be popped by Loco. Aggressive plays now. Drop the base is going to be pulled, and that's going to be resetting their healing. Loco picks up that left-hand side. 3v2. Got Alonso pretty much full HP. Drop the base yet again to reset, as there's no use for it past this round, as they do.
To lock their ticket straight to the grand finals, we had a few double champions already, winning both February and March monthly finals, and Marruecos are definitely still in contestants for that, as Reese gets tagged up very heavily early on, though, forced to fall back, and probably go down, dodging pretty nicely and able to stay in the mix for the time being. So far so good. A bit of a scary start, but control now very much in favor of Marruecos.
Yeah, great positioning from them, and this is exactly the start that they need, because it seems to fall apart in around about that second round for them. Pretty much always have a great start, and then from there it kind of goes downhill. But Alonso just needs to try and make a few connections onto Portox, but healing up first, kind of allowing Jeremy to get back in the mix, but does make a connection pull available, but he actually gets followed up once and twice. Great pinch by Marruecos to make these moves, and Todd has a super, but not a lot else.
That's a beautiful angle for Alonso as well. A lot of utility carried over the mark, the Sprout wall. Still some gadgets too, I believe, from the Sprout to transplant that wall from one place to another. Recycle it, as we call it. And also the gene pool, the B super. Let's see which ones are going to be utilized best, and Loco just kind of shoots it in the middle of everyone, goes for a trick shot, finds the connection on Jeremy, but it's not going to be nearly enough for a kill. Jeremy does get locked up by that Sprout wall, but is still able to retreat with his teammates. They have conceded mid control, and considering Marruecos are a round away from winning the match, Level Esports need to find some sort of a plan.
Yeah, but Jeremy with this pull can turn it all around. Alonso trying to find some connections onto Todd, and he's going to need to go all the way around or take this jump pad. It looks like he might go with the jump pad approach and try and make a big burst play onto the scene. Makes the shots, gets the connection with the Vengeful Spirit, but the trade should be there, and it is. Reed's very low up top right, and Jeremy needs to come out and help, making some shots, but Portox actually going to get the takedown. 1v1 here. Reed's has got the jump as well. Drop the base placed in front, resetting the healing, avoiding the shots, and drop the base might even finish this one off. 139, and the gas is the thing that seals it from away.